Okay, so I played the Classic stress test, and you know what? I was pleasantly surprised. People have wanted to be able to revisit Classic ever since Wrath, but that feeling multiplied after the Cataclysm changes. And for the longest time we thought it was a dream, ephemeral, never to be realized outside of dodgy private servers that could shut down at any time. When we asked, we even got our meme-worthy response.
And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
So for Classic to be right around the corner as an official release is amazing. So after hitting the level 15 cap on the stress test, what are my impressions? I've played Vanilla WoW before, but it wasn't on my own account, and certainly not in any meaningful raid capacity. The first thing that struck me when I logged in was, oh god, the default UI! As compared to Live, even though they keep the cartoony look, Vanilla has a certain coarseness about it that is strangely appealing. The second thing I noticed were the amount of players. My brother and I both played together, and it was only by the two of us stealing tags with fast auto attacks that we were able to get many of the quests done. Which segues nicely into my next point, difficulty and reward in the world. Especially with shared tagging in Live, I feel we have lost those moments where you simply can't get a quest done on your own, and your response is to find other people who appear to be doing the same thing and, naturally, group up. Failing that, you have a prime example like this.
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Ah! He just fucking running off in the distance. God damn. Okay, I'm coming back. Oh.
Outside of rare mob farming in BFA, I don't often feel the need or desire to make a questing group. Mostly in part because I can pull a good 10 mobs, freeze them, and kill them all with little risk to myself unless an opportunistic opposite faction scumbag walks by. Whether it was kobolds in the mine, Hogger, or Defias, there were groups forming constantly, sharing buffs, sharing drops, which is another point for Classic, the reward. Because in the time it takes for me to kill 3 things in Classic, I could have killed 50 in Live. So the reward for killing those 3 makes me feel much more accomplished. It's why I picked a paladin, as I could heal up and engage the next mob with little downtime, as mana isn't a huge deal for me at early levels. I know we're going to replace them quickly, but as we quest, even on my leveling playthroughs where I forgo heirlooms, I can't remember the last time I was this excited to get a green quality item. Heck, for that matter, I was so happy when I got a white quality pair of braces. This in stark contrast where I make my 445 tailoring legs and then get disappointed because even though the guaranteed heroic level epic quality legs had the wrong stat distribution. Or spending 74 tokens just to roll that benthic piece because there were 6 variants, and even though you got the right one, the right item didn't have a socket. But back to Classic. The cynical part of my brain wants to say that the community aspect I'm getting from the Classic people is short-term. Maybe once it's been a few weeks and the high of actually being able to play the version you want has worn off, they'll revert. But the optimistic part of me says otherwise, as there is a clear distinction in mentality between the two. The Classic fan has clamoured for Classic servers for years, and actually wants to be here, as opposed to being forced into a game they feel is long past its heyday, but is their only legal option. My only hope is that they won't take their nostalgia and gatekeep for those who have never played, and wish to see what it is like. My hope is that they will be nothing short of inviting. We will have to wait and see. Newer players will have to contend with the old weapon skill and talent trees. Weapon skills, for those who don't know, are skills that track your proficiencies with different types of weapons. This is an RPG, you know. You can't be a mace user the whole time and expect to be a master swordsman just because you picked it up. I myself ended up carrying 6 different weapons and a shield just so that I could keep them all leveled as I did. I even made the mistake of getting my first axe, going all the way to Ironforge because the Stormwind guy didn't teach you that, only to learn one-handed axes when what I picked up was a two-hander. 10 silver wasted. Which reminds me, money management. Like living on monthly paychecks, vanilla is going to teach you to budget. Gold doesn't grow on trees and you have much to consider. Abilities aren't instantly learned, you need to visit a trainer to learn them. And they don't level up with you, there are multiple ranks of the same spell. Is rank 2 of a spell more important than a weapon skill for the sword you picked up from questing? Is it better to repair your gear, or should you save that for the 6th slot bag so you can carry some more? All this and more await you. Finally, I want to talk about the one dungeon I did. Deadmines. Spoiler alert, we didn't finish. After a point, the mobs outleveled us to such a degree that our attacks were resisted or flat out missed. But this took time. Body pulling with their aggro circles, corner pulling just to get casters on top of you, having to eat and get mana every 2 to 3 packs depending on whether they ran into another group and pulled more, which oftentimes just wiped you. My Deadmines recording is over an hour long, and that's after I remembered, oh crap, I wasn't recording the first boss! Needless to say, we won't be joining the MDI anytime soon. All in all, I enjoyed myself. I don't find the rotations as interesting as I do on live, but I can appreciate the slower pace. There are times I miss my full set of 32 slot bags. I just need to remember not to pick everything up that isn't bolted down. The dungeon was fun, challenging, and I imagine raids are going to be fun as well, even if the mechanics as opposed to live aren't going to be as numerous or difficult. I think after playing the stress test I will continue to play on BFA, but most likely for Mythic Plus and as a money-making venture while I keep my sub rolling. I think I'll give Classic a try, maybe a good month or 2, and I'll revisit it from there. Anyway, that's all for me. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in Classic.